Hi there all. Today I'm going to reattempt the feather carbon. It's got 20 grams of urea at the bottom. I've packed that quite well. It's the refractory cement crucible this time. I'm going to leave the metal can on the outside, but that little round nipple thing goes down into the hole and should seal it up quite well. So I have to maintain 200 degrees for 24 hours, and then for the last 2 hours it has to be at 800 degrees, but I'll be doing that over the week. I can't do it all in one day. I've got to keep an eye on the furnace. I'm doing it manually. And this is going to be standing on top of the little crucible stand, so the flame torch doesn't hit exactly on the side, it'll be hitting down lower. So maintain the integrity of that can perhaps. Alright, so I'm going to start that now, and I'll see you in 26 hours. Hey there, while I was doing the carbons, I thought I'd fire up this cell. And I'll turn the light on. We tested this cell months ago, I think. It's got sugar carbon, I reckon, on this side, and a zinc plate. It's totally dry. It's only just sort of touching. I sort of cleaned the electrode off here because the salts were growing up. It was like 1.4 volts, no charge added to it, and it's nearly 3, it was 3 milliamps. Oh, hang on. So we're at 1.3 and nearly 4 milliamps. I'm barely touching. Push that plate a bit closer, we're at 5 milliamps. It's dry, it's a dry cell. Oh. And the lead fell off. So that's pretty different for a cell sitting around. And for the other cell, which we tested a week or so back, I think it's 3 weeks old, this cell. That's a zinc plate. The nappy crystal separator, it's holding 0.7 volts, but it doesn't have, I think it has nothing for milliamps. Yeah, they're not readable. There we go. Unless there's a contact. Oh, try again. No, so barely nothing milliamps. But this cell here is quite, look at that plate, is just flopping around there and it's all sort of dry. It's the calamine lotion on that side. That's what the state of the plate is, look. And on the membrane itself down in there, sort of built up over there, and I guess that's touching the membrane, making some sort of dry crystal cell. So you watch. I'll just stick a knife down the back there and give it some pressure. It's a bit hard to do. Yeah, it's not working. Oh, this way. Alright. So we got that. We'll check the milliamps again. Oh, hang on. Wow. Oh, we're on the 20 milliamp. I mean, micro. So we're 7 milliamps now with a bit more pressure on the back of the cell. 8. Oh, we're going up. That's different. I thought that would have been just totally dead. It was just out of boredom while I'm waiting for the furnace. I'll have to look at the video to check that complete what's in that carbon, but I think it could be a mix of feather carbon or sugar carbon and manganese dioxide on the carbon electrode side. So we're hovering around 9.7 on a short circuit. That's quite good. A big one of them. Alright, I'll get back to my furnace. I gotta burn it for 10 minutes and leave it for 5 minutes. No, leave it for 10 minutes and burn it for 5. that keeps 200 degrees pretty well. Oh. I should have cleaned the copper pad first on the zinc cell. Check that out. So we're 0.7 at that voltage, at that state. So I'll give it a clean, and I added some electrolyte around the outside, so I'll wait for a while and let it settle in, clean this and the top of that, and I'll get back. Okay, just a clean of the contact plate on that zinc cell, 1.4 volts, and for short circuit milliamps, we're still not, oh, we are high, 60 milliamps on a dry cell, just sort of lightly wet about 3 minutes ago. So the cell's still alive, sort of, holding 56 milliamps. Surprising what that corrosion does under that contact. Yeah, alright. I'll get back. Okay, this is the double carbon cell from the previous experiments. It's unrehydrated yet. So it's got nothing, 0.5 volts. So I'll rehydrate it with some sulfate, zinc sulfate. It's not increasing in milliamps, in voltage much, so I'll keep rehydrating. I gotta go set the furnace now. Quick update while I was waiting for the feather carbon. It's been in the furnace now for 4 hours at 200 degrees. I'm still going to go for a few more hours. It's only 5 o'clock, and then I'll continue the next day or something. In between, the rehydrated zinc plate cell had an hour and 20 minutes charge and produced 38 milliwatt hours and 1 hour run time at 30 milliamp load. So it's still valid cell for being dried out for at least a week and a half. There was no electrolyte added to it. Oh yeah. Alright, I'm going to check the carbon. Okay, it's day 2 of the carbon burn. It did 7 hours yesterday, and I'm bringing it to temperature now for the first time. And we're at 110 there. 248, so we get to about 270 down there, and that's around about the right temperature for that container. Right down in there. Okay, made it to the 26 hour. It's been 800 or something degrees for 2 hours. Probably a little bit hotter. Crucible down there is actually glowing, but a real long carbon burn over 4 days, and now I'll turn it off and let it cool down, and tomorrow I can get to see if the feather carbon works. Okay, I've finished the 26 hours. It's been cooling off all day. We may have exceeded the 1100 degrees on the refractory because it's sort of a bit flaky. Does that only when you get past the 1000. That's where the direct flame was going, I think. And the crucible stern, what was taking the brunt of the heat this side, it's a bit flaky. I'm not sure if it's because I mixed sand with the cement. And the crucible itself, the outer container didn't get damaged too much. I'll just get a screwdriver and we'll see what our feather carbon's turned out like. Okay, I got that lid off. That's in mega ohms, that black stuff on there. Oh, wow. 2.7 mega ohms, just that black gear. And the stuff down in there. It's breaking under the probes though. 28 ohms sort of. Push it down more. that out of there and we'll see what we got. I don't have much of a yield actually. That pot was filled right up with feathers. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, the calcium aluminate crucible sort of withstanded the temperature. It's sort of got a crack there, but it's not too bad. I had to sort of destroy the outer shell to get it out though, but that won't matter too much, and that's the yield we have. I'll take it inside and we'll check it with the magnet. Won't be long. Okay, the yield's not so great. That's the total yield. So we'll check the ohms again while I'm in here. Still averaging 30. It looks the same as the other lot. Hard to say, can't get enough pressure on it. And the probes are a fair way apart. So it's around about 38 ohms over that distance. And under the little totally looks the same. Alright, magnet test. Alright, there should be no metal particles in that at all. So here goes. Aha, not. Yeah, it is, sort of. Yeah, particles are moving around, so it does. It is the feather carbon. Yep, I can see that big bit sort of oscillating. Where is it? Hard to say. Let's break a bit off. No, maybe it was contaminated with metal particles in the other experiment. I got a bit of the tin stuff in here I'm gonna have to pick out. See that there? That piece there, which might be hindering, might be doing the movement. So I'll pick those big flaky bits of the tin out and I'll see what we got. Okay, I fished them out. It is magnetic, or it's attracted to it, see? Only the small pieces. It's not very strong in its magnetism to the magnet. The larger pieces will probably not move around as much as those small pieces. They're not contaminated, I got it all out. So, feather carbon with urea mixed into it is attracted to the magnet somewhat. Which is sort of okay. I can't see any metal particles getting down inside that crucible unless it goes through the cement from the outer wall, which is highly unlikely because it was only at maximum temperature for 24 hours was 270 degrees, and then 2 hours at whatever that torch could put out. So it was off my little temperature probe. So they are moving around, those little particles. So I reckon if I crush it up, everything would sort of wish around in there. So the yield's not so great. It's got no smell. Can't smell any urea. I think the urea's inside there still, because the last lot I had soaking in the water. See that orange stuff? Or ochre colour. I think that's the urea, it's graphic carbon nitride. And they're still attracted, floating around in their liquid. Oh look, I think there was the metal particles in that one. We got some sort of weird orange looking thing there. See if I can get that out with the tweezers. That was from the last batch in the steel can though. I don't remember that thing being in there. This thing's formed, whatever it is. Yeah, I think that's a bit of the iron, perhaps. Well, there you go. So 26 hours of making, I thought would have been a lot more carbon than that. That makes this carbon quite expensive. 26 hours. It's only $15 worth of gas though. Doesn't use too much. But it's quite shiny. I'll try the probe on this surface. Can't push too much weight, it breaks. Yeah, it's pushing through. So it's around about 70 ohms there. 48, 50. So interesting. So it's still got its attraction to magnets. Looks quite shiny. So I'm not sure if it's worth doing it in the metal container or not the metal container, because it still somewhat attracts to the magnet. Oop. We've got slight movement, only the small particles are moving. So there you go, some feather carbon. Ow, magnet hurts. Alright, so I'll get that in the ball mill, give it a good grinding. I'll manually crush it first because the ball mill don't like big chunks. They just bounce around. And I'll post an updated video on these cells. Oh, that carbon one is dried out again. Oh, while we're here, I might as well look at it. That's been there since the other day, probably 5 days ago. I rebirthed it, gave it some electrolyte. It's at 1 volt. Nothing special, but it's sort of semi-dried out. And 2 milliamps just, and dropping fast. Could be the contact's gone again under that plate. We'll just check that while we're here. Yeah, the contact, and I kept that clean. I think it does come through the graphite pad somewhat. So I guess if I clean that off, we'll probably go back up to 1. Oh look, just touching it there like that, we got 1.4 volts. So yeah, cleaning the copper contact definitely increases the voltage of this cell. I'll jam that under there, do another short circuit with the high voltage. 11 milliamps, 10 dropping. So that's not too bad for a crusty dried up cell like that. I'd imagine it's still functioning by its milliamps it's giving out. Probably if you submerged it in some liquid, it will probably activate. Alright, well, hope you liked that video, and thanks for watching. Okay, I thought I'd better weigh it up. So the total yield is 19.48 grams of feather carbon from 26 hours of burning. The next lot of feather carbon I'm going to try, I'm going to soak it in, I'm going to mix the urea, 20 grams of urea in a litre of water, and then soak the feathers in that and cook it super hot in 1 day and see what I get. So 19 grams for 26 hours and $15 worth of gas.